Ross Berryman, we live at Berryman in near Lingatha in Victoria. We've got 340 hectares and we're milking 600 cows. Currently just calving at the moment. Mum and Dad settled here in 1955 and set up the dairy then with 25 cows, and then it's grown since then. We started with registered Holsteins about 1980. Their return from grain I think is better than any other breed. Cows are currently averaging around 7,500 litres a year off grass and grain in the dairy. We haven't got a feed pad and limited bought-in hay. Ridley's quite important to us. We source a lot of our barley and our pellets through Ridley. More importantly, a lot of our additives come through the pellet that Ridley add to help with the grain efficiency that we feed. Times of the year when our clover's quite dominant, we can add terric and stuff to make our management so much easier and reduce the risk of bloat in cattle. As the cows calve, we try and maintain their grain intake, although being reduced when they're dry. As soon as they calve, then the calves will be on milk for 4 weeks, and we'll start them on pellets for 2 weeks into their life. So the Ridley pellet is really important for that early development of the calves because they can't quite get enough nutrition from the milk as they get older. So whilst they stay on milk until 12 weeks, the amount of pellets they consume up until that time is quite critical. And then of course you go on to the next Ridley pellet once we get them off milk, and that maintains their growth and makes the transition into pasture really quite efficient. But we've never bought from anyone else apart from Ridley's with our pellets. The service has always been prompt, and Ridley will go out of their way to deliver when they can, even if you're running short or you've miscalculated. They'll do whatever they can to get here when they can. We've never had a single issue with quality ever with Ridley. It's peace of mind really, that particularly with a lot of cows, the last thing you want is any type of hiccup with the feed. So it's been perfect for all these years. The consistency we get, particularly in the calf feed, you can't tell one load from the next. Great for the calves because the slightest little hiccup in their diet as young calves creates nightmares. So great peace of mind knowing that the calves are going to get whatever they want. We've started using our barley through Ridley as well. Competitive price compared to normally the way we have sourced it in the past, and the quality's pretty much guaranteed alongside the pellets. So it's been a really good option for us as well. Right from when we first started, the support we've had from Ridley's been excellent via the nutritionist. Whenever the pasture changes, which is quite often in quality, the Ridley nutritionist is always there to offer you the correct advice that you may need to change something as the pasture changes. So having somebody there with that expertise, which is free, even better.
I've worked with Ross now for a good part of 20 years. We do all of his feed here. We try and match the feed regime to utilise as much pasture as Ross can grow. Here on Ross's farm in the dairy, we're using whole grain. We're putting barley in from our Ridley Direct. We also use our range of pellets here. We switch between Pasture Optimiser during times when we've got plenty of grass, and then we go to a higher protein product like a Milko or a True Pro, which provides higher protein in the months where there's not as much grass around. We then go into calf feed here. Ross feeds all of his calves our calf rearer pellet for the little baby calves. It's a high protein ration. It provides everything the calves need from vitamins and minerals, and also a coccidiostat for the health of the calves. And then we transition through that into our heifer developer as they grow older, and then they're ready to come into the dairy.
No matter what the scenario, whether it be seasonal or whether it be financial pressures through drought years or whatever, there's always grain available at Ridley's. So I have a big comfort, particularly when feed gets so tight and so expensive.
We always can supply what Ross needs. We've always got the pellets available. Even when we've had tight times or droughts, we can always supply what Ross needs to match his season at the time.
Always trying to get as much pasture into the cows as we possibly can. That's the goal, and be able to feed the cows pellets at various quantities at different stages of the pasture is critical to our profitability. Carolyn's great support over the years. She's been more than happy to assist us. Knowing the quantity's there and the quality's there, the rest is really up to Mother Nature, really.